Okay, so we're going to be talking today about 10 tips to improve online advertising in 2014. I'm going to be one of the presenters, as well as Max Teitelbaum from WhatRunsWhere. And we'll go through a little bit of background on ourselves, and then we'll get started with providing you with these 10 exciting tips that we learned from the holiday season. So I'm going to start talking about the Search Monitor, and then I'll pass it over to Max. So the Search Monitor monitors keywords on search engines and shopping engines, and we report on advertising intelligence. So basically, we are doing competitive intelligence around paid search, organic search. On the search engines, we're looking at the shopping listings that also appear there, product listing ads on Google and Bing and Yahoo, as well as shopping engines like PriceGrabber and others to provide our clients with information on page rank, ad copy, promotions and offers, market share, clicks, and ad spend information. So that's what folks get from us. And what we're going to be talking about is some things that we observed during the holidays this year that we wanted to pass along to you so you can prep for 2014. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Max to give a little bit of background on WhatRunsWhere.
Sure. My name is Max Teitelbaum. I'm the co-founder and COO of WhatRunsWhere.com. We provide a competitive intelligence tool for display and mobile media that allows you to see what anybody's doing with their display advertising or mobile advertising online and use that data to bring it back into your own campaigns, limit risk, create better campaigns, and really get a head start on the competition by learning what they've done so that you don't have to spend the same money and make the same mistakes. And today what we're going to talk about is we split up into two sections, one for display, one for mobile, representing both our tools. And we're going to talk about a couple tips from each about how you can really use that to boost your advertising presence in 2014, using the holidays, one of the biggest shopping events of the year, as an example.
Great, thanks, Max. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. We'll start off with talking about paid search tips and some affiliate marketing tips that revolve around working with merchants on paid search, and then move over to display and mobile. So the first tip is know which offers your competitors are running. I think we all know that it's important to look at promos and offers. What we do with the Search Monitor is actually track these things. So we're watching the offers in real time as they're being pushed. And during the holiday season, you'll see offers changing pretty rapidly throughout the day. And as you can look here at this chart, which is pretty much obvious, I think if you're in retail, we all know that free shipping is going to be a top sort of promoted offer. So I'm just going to go through the list here and then explain sort of the significance of what you need to do in your ad copy to make you stand out. So you see free shipping offers. About 38% of retail advertisers have a free shipping offer in their copy. Some kind of a sale or a deal is offered about 34% of the time. And then we start to see it sort of trail down. So free shipping with some sort of a minimum, like spend $50 and get free shipping, get a free product, or free shipping and a discount, like get 25% off and free shipping together makes up the smallest amount, which right there where you see that 6%, that's where you can see an opportunity. So we're at the point, I think, now with web product advertising that free shipping is sort of expected. If you go to a retailer and you try to buy something and you don't get some sort of a free shipping offer, it's a little disappointing. So that's probably something you need to have just to be normal these days. But then to set yourself aside and be different, then you want to start offering some other things around the free shipping, like a promo code. So that would be where you would get the discount. And with only 6% of the ads having some kind of free shipping and discount, it's a huge opportunity for your ads to really stand out by putting more meat in there to get more clicks and more interested buyers. So that's pretty important. And really the biggest takeaway here is watch what your competitors are doing. Because if you can see one of your bigger competitors head on doing something special and different, and they continuously are doing it, not just trialing it and then taking something down, but actually keeping the momentum going on an offer they're running, you can tell that's working for them. That should give you some ideas about what you should do. So keep tabs on the offers, the actual offers that are running in the copy, not just what's on the website, but on the ad copy in the paid search ads. Tip number 2 is for those of you that are using product listing ads. I hope that you are. You can see from the top graphic here, this is from Black Friday, the percent of keywords in these categories, the gift categories that have product listing ads running on them, and it's very high. We only see gift baskets as probably being the lowest one at 55%, but the rest of these common sort of searched areas during the holiday season have product listing ads running on more than 3/4 of the keywords. So it's pretty important to be there. And you can see just on the bottom left here we have an image of the keyword snowboards. This was taken during that Black Friday weekend. We've got a product listing ad unit with actually 8 products in the ad unit, which means that it gets a lot of attention. It's colorful. There's price points in there. And you really have much more of an opportunity to look good in that PLA. So you really need to look at how you're going to use these units. We have a tip on the page here, so we'll go over that in a moment. But there's other things outside of just being in the ad unit. You can see there's price points in here, right? So the first snowboard on the top left says $269, but if you sort of scroll over, you'll see one for $99 and one for $1,049. It's a huge price range. So a huge tip for product listing ads is to know the price points for your key terms. If you're too high or too low, you might be missing out. You want to make sure you're right in the sweet spot. Like here with the $1,049 snowboard, competing against primarily boards that are in the $100 to $200 range, they're outpriced. So that's something to really pay attention to because you're not going to get as many clicks. So that's key. You can also control these images. So, you want to be able to stand out. I mean, we've got several that sort of look very similar to one another. So if you can try to see which product is being pushed for a certain keyword more than others. If it's not the product that you want or not the image that you want, then you want to make sure that you control that as well. So that's really important. And then the big tip on the page, which is sort of goes along with the philosophy of owning all of the real estate on a search result page, including the paid ads, the product listing ads, and the organic, is working really tightly with your affiliates, or if you are an affiliate, working tightly with your merchant partners so that you can share the page together and get more ad space. In the paid search side, there's only going to be one of you showing it once. You can only show your website once in the listing. So if there's 10 opportunities to be on a paid search ad on a search result page, you're only going to get one. If you have your affiliates also allowed to market themselves on the keywords with you, then you can control more paid search spots. So that's one way you can get more real estate. Another way is to sort of split the page up and say the merchant says, I'm going to own the PLA part, and let your affiliates maybe own the paid side on certain keywords, ones that make sense for that model. So you can do both. You can do one or two, both of those things. Either try to work with your affiliates and affiliates with the merchant to share the paid search ads, or sort of split it up and have the merchant take the PLA side and the affiliate maybe take the paid search side on a keyword-specific basis. Make sure it's the right keywords that make sense to do that. Number 3, so this is a fun chart that we did with Walmart versus Target, and we really didn't know what to expect when we took a look at it, but as you can see, the lines are quite different. So the maroon line is Target starting in August, which is around the back-to-school time frame. The blue line is Walmart on paid search. So we're just looking at paid search activity over this 4 or 5 month time frame. And you can see the strategies are vastly different. Do we know why we don't? We thought this was kind of an interesting, though, picture of why you should really be paying attention to your competition. Because you can see in the Target case, they started out strong with high market visibility in August, right around that back-to-school time frame. And for some reason, they completely trail off in September and October, almost to nothing, which is highly unusual. And then they ramp it back up just in time for Black Friday. Whereas Walmart, they're more steady the entire time, and then they get overtaken by Target in the end. Which one's better? Which strategy works better? That's something that we don't have the answer to which one works better. It's more of a great question to pose and see, which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the Target line where you sort of trail off into nothing but then have this huge surge? Or be the Walmart line where you're sort of steady, steady, steady the whole time, and then maybe towards the end there where the big push is, you're taking advantage of your organic listings, maybe pushing traffic through because you've already spent a lot of resources in advance of the major buying days. When people are doing their research, you've gotten in front of them, they've done their research, and now you can sort of maybe sit back and spend a little less and rely on your organic. So this really illustrates how important it is to know the market visibility of yourself and your competition, and maybe you can take advantage of knowing maybe when there's a dip. As we go along, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the questions box in the side here on the webinar, and we will get to them at the end. So now we're going to do a few tips on affiliate marketing, and then I'll be turning it over to Max. So this is affiliate regarding as it applies to paid search. So tip number 4, you want to keep a constant eye on the affiliate marketing landscape. In some areas, it's very competitive. Here we've laid out 5 verticals: apparel, home and garden, hobbies and leisure, sports and fitness and beauty, and showed you what percentage of the advertisers are affiliates in each one of those verticals. So with apparel being the highest, 10% of all the advertisers that we saw during the Black Friday weekend last year were affiliates, with the highest concentration being in footwear. And then you can see almost evenly across the board, around 7%, with a big spike for like hobbies and leisures. We're looking at scale models at 15% being affiliates, and then in beauty we have perfume at 11% being affiliates. So paying attention to how prevalent the affiliate marketers are is important if you have an affiliate program or if you are an affiliate, because if you are an affiliate in the footwear area, it's pretty competitive for you. It may be less competitive in some of these other places, so maybe it's easier for you to advertise and maybe get a better cost per click in less competitive arenas. If you're the merchant and you know that your affiliate program is lean and you're not really taking advantage of letting your affiliates take advantage of these different categories, then you're probably missing out on clicks because your competitors are getting the clicks through their strong affiliate program. So, you know, kind of have to look at it as a merchant and say, well, do I have a strong presence? I'm a footwear merchant. 24% of the advertisers are affiliates. How many of them are mine? I need to know what percentage that I have. And if it's not enough, you might want to up your affiliate presence in that area so you can get more clicks and more traffic to your website. Same thing on the affiliate side, like we already said. If you find an area that's super competitive, because you can actually, you know, we can track this data with the search monitor, and we can drill down into it and actually tell you which affiliates are working with which merchants, and so you can see what percentage of the market your affiliates actually have compared to your competition. You can help each other sort of scale up if you need to. And tip number 5 regarding affiliates is, you know, I think we're all always worried that maybe the affiliate's going to do the wrong thing, but most of the time they actually don't do the wrong thing, they do the right thing. So 72% of affiliates comply with the program rules and pay a lot of attention to make sure that they're working cohesively with the merchant, which is great. There's a small percentage that don't, and obviously you have to follow those, especially in the far right extreme category with 18% who are direct linking on trademark keywords, which is probably going to cause a channel conflict with the SEM team. And so those need to be watched and dealt with. But the rest of the market really working hard to make sure they play within the rules. So you want to closely monitor your affiliates if you're on the SEM side, just to make sure that you're not having channel conflict with one another, and that you're working in concert, which is sort of the theme I think I keep saying, is make sure you're working together. Because if you're working together, then your offers will be in sync. Your advertising rank position will be where you want it to be, where maybe the merchant wants to be first and allow the affiliates to be positioned below them. Those are all important. And then with direct linking, since some of you don't know what direct linking is, that's when an affiliate would take a merchant's display URL, use it in an ad, and then direct traffic through their affiliate link directly to the merchant without going through a landing page first. That can be useful if the merchant is not doing paid search activity. It could be a great thing for them to allow you to do. But if they are doing paid search and the affiliates are also direct linking, then now you're not just competing against the competition, but you're also competing against your own affiliates to get your ads shown, and your cost per click will probably go up. So monitoring that 18% on the far right is important to keep the CPCs down and make sure you don't have channel conflict. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Max to talk about display ads.
Sure, thank you so much, Lori. So we put together 10 different tips for display ads and mobile ads, 5 in each. So I think we'll start with display ads. So With display, we'll start with, tip number 6, what can you learn from your competitors' banner ads? So when I'm looking at data in what runs where, or I'm looking at banner ads on the web, what can I take from these ads and what can I take from the ads of the holidays and use it to help myself? So I would check out their ads for a couple of factors. Their ad design, so colors used, image choices, it flashes an image, the copy, so what they're actually saying, and then their call to action. So the call to action is the words that they use to compel you to do something. Is it buy now? Is it click here? And what I look for is I look for similarities between the ads. So I look for trends. Because if all my competitors are doing one thing, it's probably worth testing. There's a reason why people do the same thing, and usually it's because it works. Or it could be that they're really, really misguided, but we'd find that out very quickly. So I would take some notes as I go through and look at all these ads and figure out, what pieces do I want to test within my own ads. And that's extraordinarily important because using that, you can figure out how to make some really, really great ads off the bat. So let's look at eBay's top display ads from the 2013 holiday season. Now, what do we notice in common here? Well, a couple things. One, their call to action all uses shop, be it shop now, click here, start shopping. They're preying on the fact that it's holidays, you need to go shopping. So they're using that word to try and lure you in. And then the other thing that we've noticed here, even though they all show different products and different types of things, is they all use a call to action that appears as a clickable button. So it's not just a word with a line under it, but they actually differentiate the call to action within their ads with some kind of button, be it a red or a blue button. Now, we can take both these things out of those ads and integrate them into our own ads, and I'm willing to bet you an arm and a leg that when I test the ads that use this versus something else that doesn't, these will perform better. So the next tip is you got to know where your competition is running their ads. So having great ads is only one half of the puzzle on display. You have to discover traffic sources that your competitors are using or that are good traffic sources. So how do you do that? You steal their data that they paid tons of money to acquire. So what ad networks are they using? Are they using direct media buys to drive traffic? Don't just track what they're doing, but track similar advertisers in a specific niche. So let's say that I am, a luxury car brand. And so I can track all the different car brands and see what they're doing, and through that find a list of sites that I might want to try advertising on or ad networks that I might want to buy through. But I can also go and look at other people that track and try and go towards luxury audiences as a target, be it Rolex, be it, net jets for private jets, and look at what they're doing, and perhaps I'll find some really great placements there because they're going after the exact same audience. So looking at eBay again, we can look through with WhatRunsWhere and see all their top placements. Now a lot of these are direct site media buys, and then the other thing we can look at is their duration. If you've been using a traffic source, in this case for hundreds of days, or in some cases over 2 years, it's probably going pretty well for you. There's not a huge reason why you would leave your ads on a source for 2 years if it's not going well, unless you're completely incompetent, and at that point you'd probably do that. But we're going to assume in this case most of the advertisers we look at buying display are very, very competent advertisers. So using this, we can identify some really great placements to try and start buying on. So then the third tip, it's simple. You have to test, optimize, and repeat. So when we're building these ads, we're going to have to launch very different variations. And when we're building placements, we have to launch very different variations. And they may be very large general variations at first, like using a product in your ad, not using a product in your ad. And then we would test them. Which one performs better? And we would find the winners. And then we would launch more tests off that. And they can go to very small tests. Do I need a border? What color should my button be? What color should my call to action be? Should the shape of the button be different? And you constantly test different ads, you optimize what you're doing, and then you launch new tests, and you constantly get better click-through rates and conversion rates as a result, making your advertising very successful. Now, what competitive intelligence can do is it can limit these tests. You can use the data that you grab from the search monitor of WhatRunsWhere to limit what you're testing because you're already taking out a bunch of tests that your competitors have done for you. So for example, eBay tests static versus flash ads. Which ones do better for them? Well, we give key performance indicators, but you may want to test that yourself. Now we're going to go into a couple tips for mobile ads. Because display is only one half of the puzzle in 2014, mobile continues to gain a lot of prevalence. Americans spend an average of 158 minutes a day on their smartphones and tablets. If you're me, you spend like 300 minutes a day on your phone. I'm kind of addicted. 64% of them have made a mobile purchase after seeing a mobile ad, but almost 74% of them haven't received ads from their favorite brands, and you can fix that, even if you're not their favorite brand. 53% of the on-the-go U.S. audience is willing to exchange information with their phones, and 48%, so almost half of emails now open on a mobile device. Why is this important? Well, even if you're doing email marketing, the fact that half your emails open on a mobile device means that what you're marketing to them needs to be mobile optimized. But we're just going to talk about complete mobile marketing and why, and how to sort of optimize your mobile flow to really work well. So first thing that has to happen is you need a tappable call to action. So you'll notice that we keep talking about call to actions, but on mobile, your call to action needs to be something that's easily tappable. What does that mean? Unlike a computer where I'm dragging a mouse click on my phone, I'm just pressing on my phone screen. So we can take this and we can look at what people are using in their top mobile ads. So we'll look at what eBay is doing because we ran that through, and you see how they have free Android app, you click it. But let's look at some other top mobile apps, be it Candy Crush in the top left, Yahoo Sports, Audible, or Toyota. They all have call to actions that look like little buttons that you can tap. And that's important because there are a lot of clicks on your mobile phones. So making your ads mobile focused and mobile specific is hugely important. The next thing is simplicity is key. With a display ad, when I launch a 728 by 90 or 300 by 250 display ad, I can fit a lot of text and a lot of messages into that ad. I can have it rotate, I can have it made a flash. On mobile, I can do a lot of the same stuff, but you have to remember that you're on a very small screen. So if you can communicate your message in a very short period of time in a very simplistic way, you're going to be way ahead. So let's look at some of the top ads that we've seen. Cabin Life. Order your cabin life gear today. It's a very simple message, easy to understand. Fuel efficient Camry. That's their main point that Toyota is trying to sell with their Camry, and then they say local offers with their call to action, you click there. Or play online on your Android device, play now, you know it's a game, but instead of Toyota doesn't list the 40 points that makes their car sell, they list the one most important point and let you engage to find out the rest on your mobile phone. Using less words is sometimes more on mobile, just because of how quickly you're going, you're clicking through things, and you need to be able to digest information, these sort of bite-sized pieces when you're on the go. So we figured we'd stop here and give the two biggest takeaways from today. So I'll let Lori run through hers.
Okay, thanks, Max. That was great. Just going through reiterating what we just talked about on paid search. The main two takeaways, if you remember anything, is watch your offers to include the obvious and the not so obvious. So that was the first thing we talked about, and we noticed before that free shipping was on 38% of all paid ads in the retail space, but free shipping with some sort of discount was only 6%. So that's an opportunity right there to have a better ad with a better offer that's more enticing than the competition. So you want to watch what other people are offering and then maybe change yours around. The second big takeaway, we would talk about affiliate marketing. With the search result page, you have 10 opportunities to be on the paid side, 10 or a little bit more on the organic side, and between 4 to 8 in the PLAs. So we're talking about maybe a maximum of 28 possible spots on the search result page. If you can occupy more than one, you're doing good. If you can occupy one in each section, you're doing even better. And if you can occupy more than one in each one of those areas, organic, paid, and PLA, you're even doing even better. The more spots you have, the less spots your competition has, the more clicks are for you and the less are for them. So with your affiliates, working together with them to share the page ownership, having a fantastic strategy around your keywords to determine which ones you're willing to share with your affiliates on, and then ensuring that they're actually showing up so that you have more of the real estate is key. And the big tip we gave was with the PLA and the paid search stuff, you can actually share by having the merchant side owning that PLA portion and giving the affiliates more ability to showcase themselves on paid search. And I'm going to turn over to Max for some takeaways from display and mobile.
Sure. So the two biggest takeaways on the display and mobile side, so for display, it's about really using your competitors' data to boost your own advertising strategy, so using it to find new places to advertise and to really limit your risk when you're testing ads. So again, it's about taking things from their ads and incorporating elements into your ads to make them perform better. So doing that will save you a ton of time and money. And on the mobile side, it's really just about testing, optimizing, and repeating. I know this was a display tip as well, but especially with mobile in the new marketplace where things are changing so quickly, if you can take tips like simple messages, a clickable call to action, and then quickly test different messages and different call to actions within ads with a lot of traffic, you can find something that really works for you and is very scalable and can provide a huge return on investment for you as you go and advertise.
Great. So now we're going to.
Sorry, go.
If you have any questions, we're going to start taking them now. I see there's a bunch here. We're going to try to field them. I think a bunch of these are for you, Max, if you can see them.
I can't, so you're going to have to ask me them, but I'm happy to answer questions about anything. Questions about, on topic are good. Off topic I'll answer as well, but prefer that you stay on the topic of online advertising.
Yeah, here's one. There's been a lot of info about colors and the marketing links. Is there a better option color for that button?
So it really depends, right? So there are a lot of studies that have been published about colors and colors meaning different things, and how you can link different colors, different niches, and different colors to different emotions. But what I found is using that as a guideline is great, but you don't, and you can use that to eliminate some colors that you don't think will work, but you really need to test. So I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, we helped build an offer with a couple people, and on the checkout page of our offer there was a button, and our last step was testing colors, and by bringing the button from blue to red, we saw, I'm not joking, a 10% lift in conversions from just changing that button color. Now blue wasn't the logical or linked important color that made people want to buy this product, but it worked for that audience. So colors are an extraordinarily important part of your ads, but you do it with the same way of testing, optimizing, and then relaunching new tests.
Okay, great. And then there was a follow-up question that I think you already answered about if the ad is a text-based format, is a Shop Now link going to be effective?
Yeah, I mean, if the ad's a text-based format, the call to action is even more important because they're reading that text. So Shop Now may be extraordinarily effective, especially if you're saying you're eBay or Amazon or somebody like that, because that's what you want somebody to do. You want them to come to you and shop right now. If you're asking for donations and you use Shop Now, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But the call to action, little tweaks in your call to action can also provide a huge, huge boost. So testing out different call to action to be a click here, buy, click here, check it out, try it now, testing in different ones. You can do very quick tests once you have a really good baseline and know how an ad's going to do with, a reasonable amount of data. But starting with a pre-optimized data set will help save you a ton of time and money and give you, let's say, instead of having to test 30 calls to action, you can test 3 or 4.
Okay, great. I don't totally understand this question, but I think it's for you. If your URL defines a search category, how best to use display for branding? Also include best use of mobile ads in your answer.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the question. So whoever asked that question, can you please try and clarify what you mean?
Yes, you can rephrase it. Next one. I think for both of us. Do you find that different messages, creatives work better in different geos? I can just tell you, I'll answer that from the search standpoint. which it does work better to change your creative and messaging, especially if you have a locally focused sort of business, like if you're in telecom, for example, you're going to run into different competitors in your market, and you're going to have to change your creative and messaging to try to get around whatever they're offering. So it's important, very important from that standpoint to be changing. Now, if you're dealing with more of a national sort of business and your competition's national, you want to always take a look at the local competition and just to make sure that you're keeping up. But in that case, it's probably not as significant to make changes to your offers, at least on search. Max, what do you think about that?
Yeah, from a display perspective, it depends on the scale of your campaign. So if you have a giant campaign, it's absolutely worth it to do, because then you can start to take things into account, like different ethnicities in the areas, and are you going to give them a compelling offer that really resonates with them and their cultural traditions, languages spoken. So, for example, if you're in Canada, like me, we have Quebec, which speaks a ton of French. So should we translate certain things to be multilingual or just French? And also, different areas care about different things and have different tendencies. So I'm not a big fan of, on a very, very small campaign, starting to split things up like that, purely because your spend isn't high enough and you're going to end up wasting more time than the return that you get, unless, like Gloria said, you have a very specialized local competitor that you need to beat. But on very large campaigns, any kind of optimization you can make can provide huge results.
Okay, next question is a search question, and I'll read this out loud. What strategy do you recommend to increase ROI on non-branded search campaigns? Brand search works really well, but ROI is negative for non-branded. I think that's probably like an entire webinar in and of itself. So I'm just going to give you a really broad brush sort of approach to it. But if you want to email either one of us after this webinar, our emails are up here on the screen, and I'd be happy to talk to you personally offline here. But yeah, we all know that branding is obviously going to have better ROI than non-brand, just because you have brand. If you're a strong brand and brand recognition, you're going to get better conversion rates on your brand terms. For increasing ROI in general on any keyword involves making sure your cost per click is contained and that you're getting the right conversion rate on the other side, which has to do with what you're promoting, your landing page, and looking at the competition. So what our clients do on their brand terms is they monitor them very closely, because those are sort of the most precious keywords, to make sure the competition stays out of their way, and that if they're working with an affiliate program, that their affiliates are working together with them so that they're getting the most possible traffic that they can from the brand terms. On the non-branded keywords, our clients are monitoring them as well as a group, and then looking at, as a group, who has more market share, what competitors have more market share, looking at their ad copy to try to make tweaks. If you see a sudden spike in cost per click, if you're using some kind of an automated bidding tool, which probably most of us are nowadays, on those non-branded search terms, you have to really be careful, because the automated tool is going to start making changes as your cost per click is going up, your ROI is decreasing, and so you have to be careful about why that's happening. So you always need to be monitoring and looking at the data to see why, so you don't just go ahead and get rid of keywords that could be helping you, or that are just all of a sudden have a run-up in price because of an anomaly in the competitive landscape. That's my quick, short answer, but like I said, we could be here for probably an hour just talking about that one question. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Please feel free to email me afterwards. The next question is, can you anticipate when a paid search ad will appear on the right in Google versus when the Google Plus invitation to follow the brand will appear? A paid search ad will appear on the right. Kind of. You can, from monitoring the keywords like we do over time, we can see what percentage of the time in a certain keyword the ads are showing up on the top left versus the right. As far as the Google Plus invitation, that's probably not something that we track. But we can also tell you how often the PLAs will show up, what part of the page those are going to be on, how many ad units are going to be in the product listing ad that shows up for a particular keyword in advance. stuff like that we can see. Next question. What is working for donations? So I don't have any answers for that. Max, do you guys have clients that do?
I mean, I don't have a specific answer there. What I would have to do is we'd have to go back through WhatRunsWhere, look at a whole bunch of different charities and people that collect donations, and analyze similarities between what they're doing and what they're advertising. So it's just about going through the data and drawing your own insights out of that data.
I mean, like what we would do is take, we have verticals in our system, and we would look at a vertical that matches to what the charity is, look at the competition there, and then we can provide reporting on what everybody else is doing in that area. Next question. I have a direct sales network marketing business, a physical-based health, wellness, fitness business that are strongly linked and connected to each other. Can affiliate marketing be used in any way or effectively for direct sales network marketing? And if so, how? Max, you're probably better suited to answer that.
I mean, I don't know what direct sales network marketing is, to be honest. So I have no clue. Affiliate marketing can be used in most businesses that sell any kind of product and service to help scale out the products and services that they sell, be it anything from being Amazon wanting to sell more of, the 1.5 million products that you offer by giving people an incentive to drive traffic to you, to having a diet product that you need, distribution for, and getting that distribution online with a much broader audience. So that's a very vague general answer.
I would say if you have, in your physical part of your question, a physical-based health, wellness, and fitness business, you're looking for local leads. There's lots of affiliates that provide local leads. So you would have to find affiliates that are working in the market where your physical business is located and that are specifically trying to drive leads through landing pages and sign-up forms, or maybe to a call center that you might have. That's definitely possible. Okay. For banner display ads, how effective are amateur ghetto-style ads versus professional-style ads?
Sure. There are two sorts of things. For direct response, sort of quote-unquote ugly ads or amateur-style ads work fantastically. They're some of my favorite creatives. I smile when I see them, and people click on them because they're not what you're used to seeing. So they work fantastically. Obviously, for a branding campaign, you can't have that same kind of thing if you want to maintain your brand image, unless you want that to be your brand image. So for a branding campaign, they don't work as well because you have an image, a persona, along with the performance that you're trying to convey. But for pure performance, direct response stuff, I've often found that they outperform your sort of glossy, really pretty ads that you spend a ton of time and effort on.
Okay, so next question is, I know that WhatRunsWhere works compiling information from several countries. Is it the same case for the search monitor? Can I use it to monitor Mexican ads? So yes, the search monitor monitors worldwide in every language, and it monitors the search engines that are prevalent in the country that's being monitored. So you can monitor ads in Mexico. You can monitor them in English or in Spanish. So the answer is yes to that. Somebody wants to email Max.
You're more than welcome to email me. My email is max@whatrunswhere.com.
Next, display or search, is it better to have traffic go to my landing pages versus direct linking? Max, I'll let you handle that. I'll answer.
I mean, it depends, again, and that's going to be the answer to a lot of things. If you have a really simple, quick sign-up that's 1 or 2 fields, you really don't often need a landing page to convince somebody that they need to fill it out, especially if it's an intuitive sign-up. If you have something that needs a bit of convincing to tell the user why they need to buy it, and the landing page isn't the direct link, the advertiser's landing page isn't very good, you're going to want to build something to sort of pre-sell them. So that pre-sale page or that landing page is going to be crucial to your success. It's a case-by-case basis depending on the offer and depending on how informed and convinced the user is by the time they get there. If you are on I'll talk about one of my hobbies. If you are on a fishing enthusiast website and you are talking about a new fishing reel and your offer page gives all the benefits there, you don't really need as much of a landing page. You may split test using a landing page that shows benefits of that reel versus others and the direct page, but that's very different in the case of, buy this diet pill you've never heard of and trust it. You're going to need something to convince them there.
Yeah, for search, it depends on what the keyword is that you're advertising on. There's like hobby-based keywords, which fishing is a great example of that. Like where's the best place to go fishing today, kind of stuff, which is they're really underserved and underutilized terms. Hobby-based keywords, they have the lowest amount of ads running on them of any of the keywords. Most people try to focus on call to action words for products that someone's going to buy right now, but if you're advertising, if you want to really get some good sort of low, cheap keywords, you want to go after those hobby ones, you're not going to want a direct link. You're going to want to have a landing page that talks about, addresses directly what that hobby is and compares products and does reviews or whatever it is that you're trying to relay. That's some kind of content, because that's what's being expected of that type of a result. If you're advertising on more of like a call to action keyword that's like product specific, if you're allowed the direct link and the merchant has a good landing page, then obviously that would be the better way to go for you, because then there's less clicks for the buyer and it's going to be more direct in their purchase. If the merchant's landing page isn't very good, then you always want to intervene with your own, or of course if you're not allowed the direct link, then you really wouldn't have a choice and you have to have a landing page. Next question here. Does the search monitor provide any competitive data on PPC ad spend? And there's a two-part question here. And two, what search engines are crawled to get the search data you show? So the search monitor does provide, click-through rate, impression share. We have a stat that we call market share, market visibility, share voice type of information. We also provide CPC, average CPC, total ad spend, and all information about the ad copy and page rank. So that answers question one. And then question two, what search engines are called to get the search data that you show? It depends on what country it is, but like in the U.S., we crawl Google, Yahoo, Bing. We also crawl Price Grabber and Shopzilla. YouTube is crawled as well. So all those are crawled. With Google, we're crawling the entire Google network. So it's also going to be like AOL, app.com, and then it's done on desktop and mobile. So we have a mobile view of the ads that are running and the organic listings, and also what the desktop view is. Let's see. A lot of questions. It's great. Will you be sending us the webinar recording? Yes. So the webinar is being recorded, and then we'll post the recording on a website, and everyone that's here today will get a link to that page, so you can download it. I have a lot of small traffic sources I'm running banners on. Does WhatRunsWhere also get to those really small traffic sources? How many sites do you cover?
Sure, yeah, and that's one of our big differentiators versus a service, say, like ComScore or Remote. We cover over 150,000 different URLs across the display advertising ecosystem. So we don't only cover, your AOL and your Google and, and CNN and that kind of stuff, but we find a lot of the really, really niche stuff that smaller affiliates or people like yourself are running on, so that you can look at, everywhere and find really underutilized and low competition places to buy display ads on.
Last question here we have. If there's anyone else that has any, please get them in soon, because we're going to be wrapping up in a few moments. So the question is, I saw that the Search Monitor uses ComScore data. How does that work? So ComScore is the #1 audience measurement tool online. They measure clicks and search and traffic to publishers and also through search engines. And we kind of look at it like pre and post click data. So we have the pre-click before somebody actually clicks on the ad. We can see the ads running, what rank they are on the page, their ad copy. And then ComScore has the post-click. They're actually tracking sort of like in a web analytics way how many clicks are coming off those ads. So we partner with each other to share our information back and forth, and their click data powers our click information that we provide through the Search Monitor. Let me make sure we don't have any other questions coming through here. Nope, I think that was the last one. So from my end, I want to thank everybody for joining today.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you coming, and if you have any questions, you can email either of us directly, and we're happy to continue this conversation there.